Welcome back, Spartans. We have got a lot of cards to look at. In the past few weeks, an entire Japanese set has been revealed. Also, Celestial Storm Week just happened, and there was a lot of TCG news, and it's just been crazy trying to catch up on some things. And so, I did want to take a look at all the cards from the new Japanese set that was released called Fairy Rise. However, because I didn't get a chance to do like my usual first impression videos where I take a single card, we look at it, or one or two cards, we look at it, analyze it a little bit, take a first glance, is it good, do we not think it's good, and things like that. I decided that instead of doing that for this expansion, since the whole set has been basically revealed, we're just going to do it by typing, or at least by categories. So if you can see here, as I'm scrolling through the entire list, it's a lot of cards. So what I'm going to do here is that for this first video, I'm just going to cover the grass types. All the grass types, and then throw in that one water type that's in that set. And then the part 2 of this video is going to cover the psychic Pokemon that are in this set, as well as, I think there's one, no, Akshay. Okay, so it's just going to be the psychic types. Then the third part to this is going to be the fairy types, along with, I think there's just one typing that's odd. Let's get to, yeah, it's Fairy Rise, so there's going to be a lot of fairy Pokemon. And then the one colorless Pokemon in there. And then the fourth part to this video, yes, 4 parts, is going to be all of these item cards, all these trainer cards that were revealed with the expansions as well. So again, instead of like doing a massive amount of these types of videos looking at almost every single card, I figured I'd just do it by category or by typing. That way we we still cover everything that we need to, and I don't have to kind of overthink about did I cover this card, should I cover this card, things like that. Anyway, without rambling on, let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this is a new Japanese set that was just revealed or just released just a couple days ago, I believe. So it was released a couple days ago, but it was revealed, the entire set was revealed like about a week or two ago. And it's got a lot of great Pokemon in it, especially if you're a fan of the fairy types. There's a lot of great fairy techs. Almost, there's so many that you just don't even know how to pick or structure your deck, at least in my opinion, because I'm looking at all these great little cards, and I'm thinking like, oh, that would be cool if I add this in there, and then it would be cool if I add this one in there, and then all of a sudden you just realize you got a bunch of one-of cards. So we got to take a better look at that and see, what kind of decks are these really going to be sensible for, and are they just maybe overhyped, or maybe just kind of, we're getting a little too excited about it, because a lot of these cards are very brand new. But like I said, let's go ahead and look at the grass types first, because there is a good number of grass Pokemon in here, one particularly to be very excited for. But as we start with the list, we have Tangela and we have Tangrowth. Tangrove's kind of an interesting card. For 1 green and a double colorless, you do 30 base damage. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn, this attack does 130 more damage. Essentially, you're doing 160 if you're healed. With the Choice Band, you're doing 190, one-hit KOing just about any important or relevant basic GX Pokemon, as well as a couple of Stage 1 Pokemon. So 190 for just 2 energy attachment is pretty crazy, and that whole healing thing is not a huge issue. If we are talking still kind of pre-rotation, you did have that Shaman EX, which was going to heal like all of your grass Pokemon, I think, by like 20 or something like that. And that's okay, but I think we have better options. Let's see. We have the Leafeon GX, which will heal any grass Pokemon, or at least a Pokemon with a grass energy attached, by 50. So you have that. You could also use Gardenia, which is supporter, which heals your Pokemon by 70. And then we have a Stadium card that's actually kind of like a Pokemon Center Lady, where it heals your Pokemon by 60. And it's a Stadium card, so you can essentially do it once per turn. The only catch is that you have to have damage. So it doesn't work. You can't heal yourself if you don't have any damage on that. Yeah, you could use Rainbow Energy, sure. Or I was probably thinking the new Banette GX that moves a damage counter somewhere, wherever you want to. You can kind of combo with that, and that way you have an opportunity to heal every turn. Anyway, it's something to consider. I don't think it's an amazing card. I think it's a good little tech, but fulfilling that energy attachment, it seems like you would have to stick it to a grass deck. but I'm pretty sure someone will think of it otherwise. Think of another strategy, but it is a good attack still to keep in mind. The other attack is not so great. 4 energies for 110 damage, not so much. All right, here's the card to be really excited for. So we've already had Trico and Grovyle before, and we've already got a Sceptile from Celestial Storm. This one's actually a Sceptile GX, but let's talk about the Grovyle first. This is kind of a ridiculous, I would say almost broken card. So it has a crazy ability. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. It doesn't end your turn. It's not an attack. It's a free search. So think of it this way. Okay, there's a couple ways you can look at this. My first initial thought was, oh man, okay, so if you play, let's say, Leafeon GX, you essentially use that GX, evolve all 4 Tricos, right, into Grovyles. Ready for your next turn, you're ready for Sceptile GX. You don't have to search for those Sceptile GX, your Grovyle does it. You use the Grovyle's ability, Sceptile GX. One after another. It's just four all in one turn. So that's a little nuts there. The other way you can think of it is that you have basically you just have to do this one turn in a sense where you evolve Trico to Grovyle. Okay, you have all Tricos on the bench. Let's preface that first. So you have all Tricos on your bench. You evolve one Trico to a Grovyle. You use that Grovyle to search out the other Grovyle. Then you use that new Grovyle to search out the other Grovyle. Continue on until you finally get to one Sceptile, or at least you'll have Sceptile ready for the next turn. So there are a couple of options or a couple of routes you can go here, but the thing is you're just ruling out all search. You don't need to throw in extra Ultra Balls or extra Net Balls. We covered the Net Balls we can search for one. Actually, did we? No, we did not. My apologies. So there is a Net Ball where you can search for either one Grass Pokemon or one Grass Energy. So you don't necessarily need to use it for the Pokemon. You can use it for the Energy. It's nuts how crazy this card is, and they're just letting it just have that ability. It's just an ability. It's not something that's going to end your turn, or it's an attack. Kind of like how Water Duplicates was, where Water Duplicates you put 3 Frogadiers on the board. This is a heck of a lot better. So props to Grovyle. Obviously, this is going to be one of the most overplayed cards as far as grass Pokemon are concerned. You can even use it just for regular search, just as a bench sitter. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. You have a Grovyle that just sits there on the bench and search out grass Pokemon for you. Definitely one to keep in mind, and definitely one that's going to be used flat out, period. The Sceptile GX gets even crazier. So with Sceptile GX, it's a stage 2, 230 HP, a little below average, but it's got some pretty nice attacks that kind of compensate for that. So for one Grass Energy, you do 60 damage, discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Not too bad, okay? With a Choice Band, you do 90 damage, okay? And you still get to discard a special energy. It's a decent intro attack. 2 Grass Energy, Leaf Cyclone, 130 damage. Move a Grass Energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. So now you have a little bit of energy acceleration where, you want to do the extra damage, but maybe your Sceptile is going to be taking a huge hit, so you want to just move that energy just in case it gets knocked out. That's fine. You have that option now. This is a great way of conserving energy. Like, this is almost a Sceptile that just is the most efficient attacker. Like, it can just replenish on its own. It can search itself out. It can just do everything. You can use a max potion on this to heal it and still be able to do a decent amount of damage. Just those 2 attacks alone, top notch. Then it's got a Jungle Heal GX. Heal all damage from each of your Pokemon with any Grass Energy attached to them. Very much like Primarina's, I guess, where it heals all damage from all your Pokemon. This one's very specific to Grass Energy. That's fair. You're using Grass Energy anyway. And this combos extremely well with the other Sceptile, because the other Sceptile we just got from Celestial Storm increases damage with each energy that's on the field. So I think it's just Grass. I think this is like any basic energy. I can't quite remember. Someone can correct me on that. But it's 20 times the amount of energy attached to all your Pokemon on your field. So, and on top of that Sceptile gives you immunity from Ultra Beast. Like, Sceptile is like looking to be like almost an unstoppable card. Yes, fire is going to probably be an issue, but right now there's not a lot of good fire decks out there. Volcania is going to get rotated out, and then besides that, there's nothing else that I can think of. Maybe Ho-Oh, but I'm pretty sure you can safely get rid of a Ho-Oh without that much of an issue. If not by your first turn, at least by your second turn. So, Sceptile GX is going to probably be the most sought after card from this next expansion. Which, by the way, keep in mind, the Fairy Rise expansion is going to be part of our Lost Thunder set. I can't remember how I'm going to be uploading these videos since all these are pre-recorded, but there is a video I'm going to be talking about, if I haven't already talked about it, the new expansion in Lost Thunder, which is actually looking to be our biggest expansion in TCG history. Anyway, a lot enough said about that card. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be great. All right, moving on. So we have Wurmple and Silcoon. Silcoon's an interesting one just because it basically almost has like water duplicates. You search your deck for up to 4 in combination of Silcoon and Cascoon and put them onto your bench. So you can just mix the two because we know eventually this will evolve into either Beautifly or Dustox. And you go straight to your bench. There's no Wurmples needed. You can just straight up just search for those Silcoon and Cascoon, put them right on, up to 4. So obviously you want to create some sort of strategy there. We've already got a Dustox that does quite a bit of damage with poison. Now we finally get a Beautifly in this set. So Skill Dive, this attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not too bad. It's not great on a stage 2, but the attack overall is not that bad. So you can just do 50 damage anywhere on the field. And then you have Butterfly Edge, 30 damage. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by the damage from this attack, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. It's obviously going to be like a final hit on the Pokemon, and then you get the immunity. Otherwise, you don't, and you're just kind of leaving yourself wide open, especially for 130 HP stage 2 Pokemon. Yeah, 130 HP will kind of outlast a few attacks. I mean, Zoroark GX only does 120 max, unless they play Devoured Field. In that case, they're going to do to 130. So, not sure if it's really worth it in that sense, but I'm pretty sure there's a combination here with Dustox. Then we have Nikita and Ninjask. So Ninjask has a pretty neat ability. When you play this Pokemon card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put a Shedinja from your discard pile onto your bench. Okay, that's fair. I think Shedinja, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Shedinja is a psychic Pokemon. Without getting into it right now, basically a Shedinja can be used as a tool card, which pretty much prevents your opponent from taking a prize card. So if they knock out like a GX card and Shedinja is attached to that GX card, they only take 1 instead of 2. If it's attached to this Ninjask, then they can't take any prize cards. That's the whole ability of Shedinja. So being able to recover that Shedinja, lots to say here, you basically can prevent your opponent from taking any prize cards at all whatsoever. So this is going to be kind of an annoying combo. Might be possible of a mill deck. The attack isn't that great, 40 damage, and if you flip a heads, you do 40 more, so 80 at best. But just being able to just maybe kind of keep poking at 40, but being able to prevent your opponent from ever getting a prize card might definitely be worth looking into. All right, Combee and Vespiquen. Vespiquen, another good Pokemon for basically a non-single GX attacker. It does 120 damage, but you have to have 5 grass Pokemon on your bench. If you don't, then you can't do any damage. The attack basically doesn't exist. It does nothing. Now, 120 HP is not ideal, but doing 120 damage for just 1 energy is pretty ideal. And yeah, the catch, the 5 grass Pokemon on your bench, it seems like it might be kind of inconvenient because a lot of people play Tapu Lele, and that already covers the bench spot, and it's not a grass Pokemon. And then also some people play a Rangaroo, not a grass Pokemon, so you're kind of out of luck unless you play straight grass. Now that's kind of where the Combee comes in and helps out. So you search your deck for up to 3 Combee and put them onto your bench. So that kind of helps fill in the spaces. You could use a couple of net balls or even nest balls to search for some more grass Pokemon and put them on your bench. It's not a difficult requirement to accomplish, but I think it does kind of balance out the 120 damage for 1 energy. Otherwise, it would be a little bit of a broken card. And then we finally have Shaman. Oh yeah, this is kind of the same thing as a Shaman EX. That's where I saw it. The ability Floral Heal. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from your active grass Pokemon. So again, kind of comboing with the Tangrowth we talked about earlier. When you heal, you do the 160 damage. So obviously Shaman is going to be a part of that. And then you can even tech in a Combee Vespiquen. So this all this alone is its own little deck. Well, without the Wurmples and the Silcoons, obviously. But the Sceptile, the Tangrowth, the what is it? The Vespiquen and the Shaman seems to be like a good little rogue budget deck, maybe. Something to consider if you're really into the grass Pokemon and want to play with something cheaper. And then we finally have this Alolan Vulpix here. It's a water Pokemon. The ability, if you have any fairy Pokemon to play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Not bad. I think the Alolan Vulpix that has the Beacon attack, that's a free energy attack, is definitely much better. Lets you search for Pokemon, but there are going to be some instances where this might come in handy. So something definitely to consider there. And that's going to be it for all the grass Pokemon and the one water Pokemon. Like I said, part 2 we will cover the psychic types, because there are a couple of interesting good, one definitely good GX card, the Sigilyph GX card, which is extremely interesting, and a couple of texts in there very well that we can kind of discuss. But that's going to be it for this part, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, do what you got to do. I'll see you all in the next video.